Bengals Jets, a good one. One I like. Let's see how this plays out.
It's the AFC Divisional Round Playoffs on EA Sports. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals versus Deshaun Watson and the New York Jets.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Coming up, it's Divisional Round Saturday, and we've got an AFC battle on tap between the New York Jets and the Cincinnati Bengals. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. Orchestrating the offense will be a man who, of course, won a national title back in his days at Clemson, Deshaun Watson.
And if he and his guys want to spring the upset here in the second round and move on, they've got to focus on the good that they did in the wild card victory. At the top of that list, protecting the football. Got a little careless last week. A few got away from him. Might not be so fortunate this time around. And if that's the case, they'll end up going home.
1st and 10, and they've got three tight ends out there. A jumbo package look. To throw is Watson. He's going to take a shot right away. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. 2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I gotta say, if it's gonna be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Now it's Watson. He finds his man, complete. That's him. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Watson now to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I think that was good strategy there, trying to go right back to him after the last completion. But this time, the defense was all over it, and they got there to break that one up.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Watson, he finds his man, complete. It's Pratt. The way in, touchdown, New York. A big play there. 48 yards. And the Jets are on the board first here in this division round matchup. Forget about the storylines of being intimidated in the playoffs on the road. I mean, that was pretty clinical right there.
Yeah, they didn't treat it like it was a playoff game in January, did they?
No.
That felt much more like, hey, we're back in August, running a few drills in the practice field. They seem unaffected by what they're facing in this one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it's finished off by a New York Jets touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be returned from deep in the end zone. Bengals offense here ready to rock and roll. Joe Burrow is the man at quarterback.
And you have to figure that this is a confident quarterback who gets the start here. Coming off of a victory in round one, team doesn't have to travel. They get another home game here in the divisional round. And I know it sounds cliche, but playing at home, huge for a quarterback, huge for his team. They want to take advantage of it.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 21. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Not open, that's Jamar Chase complete. Get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
Defense gives up a touchdown the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Burrow's throw taken in here by Chase. Touchdown Bengals. Jamar Chase, 58 yards. And the Bengals are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know you're like, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially, we're back to even, aren't we?
Evan McPherson for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays, a long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. We'll see a return here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive where they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
These two teams all tied after one. First down, it's Watson. This is intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. So that time the pressure got home just as he was releasing the football and caused the pick.
And what it did was it disrupted that fragile balance of the mechanics of throwing the football. You know, from the footwork to being able to actually throw it downfield. If one piece of that puzzle gets disrupted, it affects the entire chance of success.
Touchdown! Great effort there. 47 yards. And the Bengals have taken the lead.
It used to be that if you were a big wide receiver and the coaches wanted to make you a tight end, you resisted the move. Now it's almost a glamour position because they have the mismatch advantage. Are you going to cover them with a linebacker? They're probably faster. A defensive back? They're going to be bigger. Tight end is the new big-time position.
And McPherson on for the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. One-play drive and into the end zone for 6. after the made field goal. Here's McPherson to send this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Now Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get him back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Chase Young in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. That time, it looked like he essentially just ran right into the pass rush.
Yeah, partner, I'm not much of an outdoorsman, but the fish jumped right into the net, didn't he? Because you've got to make sure that you're deep enough that you can get around the defensive end, have an angle there. But he couldn't do it because he actually cut that one off. Really nice play coming off the edge.
Just great.
And they're going to have this way down in Cincinnati territory. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Jets. A great play there with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Jets are an extra point away from tying the ball game here in the final minute of the first half. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
There's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, where they want to let their return guy touch it.
Now for the point after. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it ends with a Jet touchdown. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This taken in at the goal line. A mistake on the lateral. It's a loose ball. And I believe he was able to get this back. He was. Boy, after giving up the touchdown, lucky that didn't turn into another.
I didn't do this in college, but I did it in high school. When you return kicks and you lose it yourself, the panic that goes through you and the determination to get the ball back, I don't even know how to describe it. And I think we just saw an example there.
And the relief when you get it back like he did.
Yeah, you go to the sidelines, you know you're going to get yelled at, but you can handle it because you got the ball back.
Now Burrow on first down. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. A high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
But no kneeling for them. They decided they weren't going to run out the clock. They decided to take their shot downfield, hoping to either make a connection or a pass interference call. They wanted more points to put on the board.
Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked up at the 49. And a potential turning point as they'll get the football in very good field position late in this first half.
You can easily see the logic. It's a tie game. They just wanted to press it a little bit right before the half, hoping to get one more score.
Now, easy to second-guess the result, but now you have to think after that interception, just a field goal, and they're behind at the break.
Yeah, I think at the half, the head coach just says, look, that's on me. I wanted to press it, but it's because I believe in you guys.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So you got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
And his kick is good. And they take a 17-14 lead. So as it turns out, a 2-play drive resulting in the field goal. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Bengals drive about to get going. 1 second, all that remains. Final play of the half for Burrow and company. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. All wide open, complete.
No way, man.
Touchdown. Final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
So instead of trailing into the lockers, they grabbed the lead with the clock reading all zeros before intermission.
I would love to go into the locker room with them because right now they're riding a nice wave, aren't they? They're feeling good about themselves. I know the coach is going to be talking to them about calming down, taking it easy. We got a whole second half, and use the way we finished the first.
Find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports halftime report. Coach!
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. This is the first.
You want the third quarter already?
Colts have
No problem. Let's do
185
it.
yards exactly. Wow. That's
Win or go home, that's the name of the game.
Same exact
We're
amount of
back underway with the
yards.
second half of this AFC Divisional round. Taken at the goal line.
Wait, what was that?
Only able to get it to the 2-yard line on his return. Not going to make a lot of friends on your team when you only get it that far.
The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And they've been the better of the two teams through 2 quarters of play, much to the chagrin of this home crowd.
Yeah, this score is a surprise to a lot of folks at home, although not to my dad. He predicted the visitors would win. And maybe to the folks in the stadium.
Well, they're
But you
winning.
know who is not a surprise to, partner? This team with the football. They were very confident coming in.
We're not the visitor.
Burrow from his own end zone. And it's going to be caught.
T. Higgins is so good.
There he goes, right side. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. He will find his man Chase complete. Touchdown Bengals.
Last drive touchdown, first drive. Really easy touchdown.
Afternoon. And the Bengals come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the 3rd quarter.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. McPherson now for the extra point. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Zach Taylor's made the decision. They'll go for 2 here. And Burrow's going to look to throw for it. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. So they elect to pass there on the 2-point try. Sometimes can prove risky there at work down.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that it can prove risky because if you get it intercepted and they return it, that's 2 points for the defense, but not on that play.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
Yeah.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago? And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Chase Young able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. After the sack on 1st down, Watson got his man complete over the middle. That's Pratt. And they work this well upfield across the 45. On 1st down, Watson. throw left side complete. That's Pratt. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. And that's going to leave him with just one timeout remaining still in the third quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him. We'll be back. Now a first down throw, Watson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Jets. A great effort there. Saving his best for the playoffs with his third touchdown of the game. And the Jets are able to get a score back in the final stages of this third quarter. It's been quite the game for him individually. A trio of touchdown catches now.
So pick a route, any route. Whatever you want him to run, he's going to do it and do it well and end up in the end zone. This has really been fun to watch.
A try here for the extra point. And the lead will shrink to 6. So that drive, 4 plays. And it's finished off by a New York Jets touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Pretty important third quarter drive for them. Momentum is certain. And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. He couldn't get rid of it. He winds up losing a yard. It's second down. One quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Another try after the first down sack. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down.
Oh my gosh. Momentum shift.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a third and long after that sack we just saw. Now it's Burrow. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 20. And he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. The tables have turned now. They were trying to salt this one away, but that interception potentially a game changer.
Of losing
I
to
just
the
got to think to
Jets
myself, at this point in the
Divisional.
game, I know you've been aggressive. I know that's your MO, and that's fine. And all those teams that talk about all gas, no brakes, you better have the emergency lever to pull occasionally. They could have used it right there. They put themselves in the tough spot with that interception.
Watson to throw. Dancing to the middle. Can't get a throw. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Chase Young in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. And of course, that's not an easy man to sack. You know how elusive he can be. And that is caught. Touchdown. And they're an extra point away from taking the lead here in the final
4 receiving touchdowns. And he will tie the NFL playoff
record. And then their
record.
defense has to hold up their end of the bargain.
And there's something that you've pointed out in numerous games that we've worked. Okay, the excitement's going on. Everyone's celebrating over there. Who's calling up the defense to make sure they're focused, because they still have some work to do?
Point after try forthcoming. And it's no good. He missed it. And the game remains tied. Oh, boy. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild fourth quarter. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. Here again comes Joe Burrow and the offense for the Bengals. And it was his interception on the last drive that wound up leading to a game-tying touchdown.
And somehow, you can make this a positive, though. You know why? Game tied now. So you're not protecting the lead. So you're not playing that way. You got to go get the lead again. So maybe it loosens him up a little bit and allows him to go ahead and be a little more free in his play.
It's complete to Chase. And they work this right upfield across the 45. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Here's Burrow. Throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete. Jamar Chase, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. Now Burrow. Trying to lob it in there, but it's incomplete. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions. And that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
He's going to air it out deep for Green. And got his man complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to almost certainly win the football game. And his kick is indeed good. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. Well, sometimes you get a mismatch in these divisional round games. Not here. This has been everything we could have hoped for.
Okay, Brandon, don't get mad at me, but it's time for the old cliche.
Bring it.
Neither of these teams deserves to lose, but in the end, it's looking like the late field goal is going to be the difference in this game.
It's a good cliche. We'll let that one go. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll start things
Wow,
out.
the Jets had a great season.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. One to get...
Big seam, and he might go all the way. But he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. And that will get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. With 1 second to go, this just sent us to overtime.
And he got it, he got it, he got it.
From 55 yards away, that was never in doubt. Overtime in a playoff game, awesome setup. Remember, the rules the same as they would be in the regular season.
That's exactly right, Brandon. Remember, the receiving team, if they score a touchdown, game is over.
The Jets have won the toss.
The other team gets a chance to get the football. They get a possession. If they go down and score, they win the football game at that point. If both teams kick field goals, we keep playing. If a defense scores, let's say the receiving team gets the ball, doesn't score, or they throw a pick six or fumble gets picked up, the defense scores, game over. But here's the best part. In the regular season, only 1 period is played. We can call it a tie. Here, we're going to play until we have a winner.
Here's Tate to return. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The New York set to take the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down and tap, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. Here's 2nd and 10. To throw, Watson. He's going to go up top again. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. In need of a 3rd and 10 conversion to keep this opening drive of OT alive. Here's Watson. Looking left side, he's got a man. That's Pratt. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. It's a big play that time by the Jets. Watson.
Oh, he's in! 2-time Super Bowl champs in a row. It will not be 3. Jets win.
No rest. They get to keep playing.
Jets
As the
win.
fans exit back out through the turnstiles, not happy looks on their faces. Feel like they probably let this one slip away at home in overtime.
I would agree with that, and their unhappiness hurts the guys at the concession stands on the way out, right? Not stopping to buy something for the kids. They just want to get home. Well, what a dramatic way to finish this bad boy off. I mean, this game was dramatic all the way through. That's why we got to overtime. And then to go ahead and finish it this way, the fans screaming out unhappy. But the team that came in here and won this one on the road, they sprinted to their locker room.
And speaking of buying
Wow,
things,
what a
dinner on you
stunner.
tonight, Davis.
I kind of figured that was coming.
That'll do it for us, for Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew.
Oh, and the
We're gonna go.
Bengals.
You've
They
been
will not
watching
be
the
Super Bowl champs
NFL
this
on
year.
EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. So long, everybody.
So last look at Burrow this season. Giving the Jets a win and a stunner final, and they will not have 3 Super Bowl champs in a row because these Jets